This is the World Wrestling Federation introduction and emergency fitness check of Alexander Erickson, or as he will be known, King Alexander, the international head of the Central Intelligence Agency. Greetings. I am Alexander. I thought it was appropriate at this time to come together and talk about logic and reason, product cycles, and different ways of getting things done. I am so sycophied by the sycophants that allow the pornographic apartheid to continue, that while what I possess and hold in my arms are mere tools of farming equipment, make no mistake, I am prepared to enter in the facility that I've been planning for 3 years, known as CIA Family Resources, a future institution of military and gangland homeland greatness, the likes that has never been seen in any besiege ever imagined or written about on mankind's earth or elsewhere, or as it may have been, or may be, or will ever be known or be written. My name is Alexander. My brand is strictly method, and I never ceded the F in World Wrestling Federation. What did that mean? It meant that when the WWF came to town, it wasn't just the WWF, it was the federal government making sure that when you take your girlfriend out after going to wrestling and you buy her ice cream and you have your soda pop and you have your burgers and fries, that you get that ass when the day is over. Because that's all you should have to do. I got you to the show. I got you a milkshake, baby, and now I'm gonna find out how good that fruit cup tastes in the morning. Okay, that's the deal. That's the American apple pie that I planned, that I sweat for, that I bleed for, that I'm prepared to die for. I have another tool. Call this the Woodman's Pal. And I gotta tell you something, ladies, when I see it, it speaks to me about product cycles and messages and statements that go beyond the centuries of the modern era and computing and glass screen technology. It says on one hand, here's something that could cut a dick off. You could use this to cut someone's penis off if properly sharpened. But you wanna know what? As I have the whore, the pornographer, the slut, the mongrel, the evil whore known as Lisa Ann, walk every one of her boy toys onto this property to have me sever their penises, which I have to tell you, their penises are filled with your daughter's and your girlfriend's breasts. These animals, these horrors of reality, came into town and they stole your daughter's breast muscle tissue. Okay, yes, breasts are made of fat, but there's also subcutaneous muscular tissue that these black people used, and they took from my own girlfriend, from the person that I call LDC and call a whore, from who she was to me, was someone who had already had her breasts sucked out so that some black man could have a large penis. But let me tell you something, ladies, something true that's been true for me for the ages, is that as every one of those white men that took their religious freedoms as far as they could, and as every black man stands there and I have Big Hoss resharpen this very rudimentary tool so that I can continue doing it, one thing remains true for time immemorial. This end is for them, this end is for you. So when you're done counting your penises and thinking that you are the queen bitch, understand your head goes right there and this blade smacks into it until you don't breathe and you don't exist anymore. So go on. Tell me about how this is the big black cock takeover. Because guess what? I am Alexander. I am Alexander. And I will keep on knocking this door down until the whores and the guns and the thugs and the van rapists that they call the sheriff, police, or whatever the fuck are all gone, and the only person that's standing, the true victor, is this man, King Alexander. This is war. I have one last thing to talk about. You'll see me flash a gang sign. It looks like this. Now, why do I flash that gang sign? Because gangs are all about jewelry. And I ain't got no jewelry, and I can't dance. So I got one piece left. My high school class ring. Bellarmine College Preparatory. The Jesuits. The Italians. The people that had shit before you had shit. The people that built the boot that ruined my tide in the Mediterranean will always back me until they know I am ready for the fight of my life, and I will come at every single one of my enemies. When this no longer matters, I'll have a 100-pound chain of gold, a 40-pound chain of Mars around my neck. I'll be walking around with a 20-pound axe ready to bust skulls. But until then, I continue training. And if you want to live with greatness and you want to commit to excellence, you can figure out how to avoid this whore truncated line, or whatever I should call it, of Lisa Ann lining up all of her boy toys and me having to sever their penises to prove a point. Because make no mistake, the whore dies and the men live.